To me, this is a big night in the NBA, man. You got the Milwaukee Bucks back on the road in Brooklyn. Game 5. You know, the Nets are going to be without the services of Kyrie Irving. Looks like James Harden is going to play. We don't know how much he'll be able to go, if any at all. As of right now, his plan is to play. Kevin Durant's going to have a lot on his shoulders. You know, but I'm looking at this game as a big legacy game for a few acts. I'll start with James Harden. James Harden has been a guy who has not been able to convert his regular season dominance over into the playoffs. Now, I'm going to be fair to Harden. I don't believe tonight could negatively impact his legacy. I don't. But if James is able to go out with no Kyrie, because there's no big three narratives, you know, it's Harden and KD versus Giannis, Middleton, and Drew. And I think that's a pretty fair, because I don't think Drew or Middleton's nowhere close to the player that Harden is, or obviously Kevin Durant. But when it's three, when you got one all-star superstar in Giannis Antetokounmpo, and then you got two can-be all-star guys in Middleton and Holiday, depending on the year, versus two bona fide all-star superstars in Harden and KD, I think that's pretty fair. So for me, I don't think Harden can hurt his legacy because he's injured, obviously. But I do think he can help it out a lot. No Kyrie. If Harden's able to go out there and have one of these heroic-like performances coming back into that Brooklyn lineup, I think he could help out his legacy a lot. James is somebody who he doesn't want to look up and the narrative be, yo, he was one of those guys that could get it done in the regular season because he could dribble the air out of a basketball. As great a scorer he is, when there was pressure, he always folded. And I think a game like this, Game 5, series tied at 2, he could really do some wonders for his legacy. I don't think he could negatively impact it, though. But I do think there are two guys out there that could negatively impact their legacies. First being Kevin Durant. This is the first pressure game for Kevin Durant in quite some time. And what I mean by that is he can't look to his left and look to his right and see Hall of Famers. The last time Kevin Durant had one of these games, to me, would be against the team that he ended up playing for, the Golden State Warriors, when his Oklahoma City Thunder were up 3-1. And he lost 3 straight games to lose that series. Many would argue that there was pressure on KD against the Houston Rockets when they were down 3-2. Like I said, he was able to look to his left and look to his right and see Hall of Famers. For the first time, though, in a long time, KD will take the court and know there won't be a Kyrie Irving, which means at least to the right of him, it won't be a Hall of Famer. Now, maybe Harden's able to give it a go, and there'll be a Hall of Famer to the left of him. But if he's able to do it, he won't be 100%. I'm excited to see how KD performs tonight. You know, for so long, we know KD has always thought he was the best in the game, or at least for the last, 8-9 years, he's thought he was the best in the game, and feels like he's been slighted, and the LeBron narrative has kind of oversaturated a lot of his greatness. Well, here you are. You are now dealt with the hand that LeBron has been dealt with a lot in his career. And by the way, LeBron has failed in a lot of these moments, to be clear. Like, he was able to win 2 games against the Warriors in that 2015 NBA Finals. Able to win. You know, Kyrie played in the first game, but LeBron was able to win. Put his team up 2-1 against those Warriors. You know, can KD go out and win a game? LeBron wasn't able to seal the deal. LeBron wasn't able to seal the deal the following years without the services of Kyrie. And then fast forward when Kevin Love was a shell of himself. Like LeBron, when he was in Miami, he won 2 championships, but also lost a couple. Many would say because Dwayne Wade wasn't Dwayne Wade of old. Like LeBron has been placed in these situations a lot of times when he's looked to his left, looked to his right, and maybe seen Hall of Famers, but the Hall of Famers wasn't the best version of himself. Every time KD looks to his left and his right for the last few years, he's seen Hall of Famers, and they were the best version of himself since he left Russell Westbrook in Oklahoma City. For the first time, that won't be the case. And I'm excited to see how he performs. He's now given the hand that LeBron's been given with many times in his career. And if KD's able to exceed expectation, he'll do something that LeBron has been unable to do a lot in his career. So I'm excited to see what Durant does tonight. And last but not least, the guy that has the ultimate pressure on himself to me, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis got to win 2 out of these next 3 games. Figure it out. It is what it is. I don't even have more. Giannis and the Bucks got to win these 2. First off, we know Mike Budenholzer, if the Bucks are unable to get out of the second round, Budenholzer will be fired. As soon as the series is over, 30 minutes later, he'll be gone. We know that. But Giannis got to get it done. This is on Giannis. You won 2 MVPs back-to-back and a Defensive Player of the Year on that second MVP. You dominate the regular season. And I've been the person to say, I feel bad for Giannis. Part of the reason why the expectations are so high is because he plays so hard in the regular season. That's part of the problem with Giannis. Now you look up and you're a back-to-back MVP award winner, and only so many people have done that. Like Shaq ain't do that. Kobe ain't do that. But you've done that. So you look around and guys are like, look at the expectation that's been placed on you. You got to perform in the postseason. And so far this series, Giannis has had some moments. I thought Game 4 was clearly his best. He was the most active. He was around different areas of the court the best in Game 4. But more times than not in this series, Giannis the numbers will tell you different, but I've watched the games. Giannis has struggled to get to these 30 points. He struggled. This is a guy that generally shoots 50, 60% from the field in his career. Shooting 3-pointers in the postseason ain't been great to Giannis. I'm looking at the Greek Freak and I'm thinking to myself, no reason why he couldn't go for 44 points tonight and 16 rebounds. He should have a SLN tonight, Shaq-like numbers in Game 5. The Bucks should win this game. Be clear, I picked the Bucks before this series started, and that was with a healthy James Harden. I was wrong about that. If Kyrie and James would have been healthy, they would have beat the Milwaukee Bucks in 5 or 6 games. It's a fact. But without Kyrie for games 5 and probably 6 and 7 as well, and maybe you get Harden, we'll see what happens. Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday are all 3 guys that have been slept on in different phases of their careers, looked at as lesser than what they might maybe consider themselves from a value standpoint. They get to change that narrative tonight. They have the opportunity to say, look, we're taking care of business against a depleted Brooklyn team. So I'm looking forward, man. You got 3 guys, man, that could do some great to their legacies tonight. And I don't think Harden could do any wrong to his legacy, but I think KD and Giannis could tonight. I think they could. If they don't win, obviously only one guy's going to win. Whoever doesn't win between these 2 gentlemen, I think the narrative shifts a little bit on Giannis or KD, depending on the outcome of tonight's major Eastern Conference semifinals matchup between the Bucks and the Nets.